So we understand that from the very beginning of this great country, there was a recognition, of course, of the importance of immigration to the success and vitality of the United States of America. And let me be clear, Mr. Speaker, so there's no misrepresentation. As House Democrats, we understand the importance, the urgency of securing the border. We believe that our immigration system is broken and that it should be fixed in a comprehensive and bipartisan way. So many leaders in that effort, so many big ideas were willing to partner in a bipartisan way. Pramila Jayapal, Linda Sanchez, Adriano Espaillat, Tom Suozzi, so many others. Veronica Escobar, we want to partner to fix our broken immigration system in a bipartisan and comprehensive way, secure our border. But we're also going to make sure we stand up for our nation's heritage, a nation of immigrants, which continues to this very day. It's an important part of American exceptionalism, and as far as I can tell, in my reading of the original document, the writings of the founders of this great country, the framers of the Constitution, they recognized it from the very beginning. They weren't perfect. We didn't have a perfect start. But of course, as the preamble to the United States Constitution set forth, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Mr. Speaker, we've been set on this magical course, our march toward a more perfect union. And the immigration journey has always been an important part of the American journey. That's why it's heartbreaking to see some of the things that are happening in the country right now. The targeting in such an extraordinary way of law-abiding immigrant families, including American citizens. How can this be in the United States of America? Some people who might suggest that we should stay away from these stories. No, I'm going to lean into this part of the American journey because we support our heritage as a nation of immigrants. And we're going to stand up for dreamers, stand up for farm workers, stand up for law-abiding immigrant families all across this country. U.S. citizen children have been deported, Mr. Speaker. Is this who we've become in the United States of America? How can this be? This is extraordinary. 2-year-old American named Manu Borges Santos was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in September of 2022. February, she was taken into custody in Florida alongside her mother and father, both of whom were undocumented. And as a result of this situation, 2-year-old Manu was deported to Brazil. Because of the Trump administration, Manu, a U.S. citizen, only 2 years old, is now effectively stateless. Manu is not a citizen or resident of Brazil. She's a 2-year-old girl, an American citizen. Removed from her homeland, but can't get legal status in her parents' ancestral home. And as a result of her inability to get citizenship down in South America, because she's an American citizen, she has no right to routine pediatric checkups, even though Brazil has a public health system, cannot easily enroll in daycare, and finds herself in an untenable situation. I think we are better than this. We've got to find a better way, because I thought this administration promised, Mr. Speaker, to target violent felons, not 2-year-old American citizens. That's unacceptable, as far as I can tell, in the United States of America. Target violent felons all you want. We support that. They should be deported. But why are resources being spent targeting 2-year-old American children? That's not American. And I don't believe the American people support that. Mr. Speaker, that's not what this country should be all about. Manu wasn't the only one. The only American citizen who's been targeted by the deportation machine, a deportation machine that will be unleashed on steroids by this one big ugly bill. We know that, in fact, is the case. That's not hyperbole. It's not a hypothetical. It's not hype. J.D. Vance told us the other day, don't worry about the cuts to Medicaid. Don't worry about the fact that this is the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Don't worry about the fact that millions of Americans, more than 17 million Americans, will lose their health care, and many more will experience higher premiums, copays, and deductibles, whose life will measurably get worse as a result of this one big ugly bill. Vice President J.D. Vance said, don't worry about that, because it's all about the deportation machine. That's not targeting violent felons. Apparently, much of what has been unleashed on the American people targeting American citizens, like a 2-year-old American girl with the initials VML, who was deported alongside her mother and sister to Honduras without any meaningful due process. VML was taken into custody by ICE on April 22nd. April 22nd happens to be the birthday of my mom. I love you, Miss Lanita Jeffries. If you're watching right now, I love you. My younger brother and I, we thank you for what you did, for your sacrifice in raising us, trying to be the best citizens that we can be. VML was taken into custody by ICE on April 22nd while attending a routine check-in at a New Orleans immigration office with her mother. VML's undocumented mother had no criminal history. And had she been allowed due process, they could have contested the removal. Instead, this 2-year-old American citizen was never given a chance to exercise her rights by the Trump administration. That is not who we are. We are better than this in the United States of America. Carlos or Carrie Lopez Alvarado, a U.S. citizen, arrested while she was 9 months pregnant, masked men wearing Border Patrol uniforms, followed by a white truck into a building's private parking in the city of Hawthorne. In that truck was Carrie's partner, Brian. When she tried asking questions about who the agents were and what authority they had to arrest her partner, she was arrested. And Carrie, an American citizen, recounted that they started grabbing me from both sides, and I ducked down to sort of shield my stomach because I was afraid. An American citizen afraid that they were going to hurt me. She told them her due date. She was 9 months pregnant. Apparently, these CBP officers responded, okay, your baby is going to be born here, but you're from Mexico, right? They were wrong. They were detaining an American citizen. This is what has been unleashed on the American people. One last story that I feel compelled to share on this issue. Mr. Speaker, I still got some ground to cover.
Take your time. Take your time.
On a few other issues of importance to the American people, but one last story that I think needs to be shared, Mr. Speaker, in connection with this issue. This received some attention, some notoriety. Americans were horrified, should be horrified. All of us should be horrified. I'll never forget the journey that we were originally on. Set forth, spoken to by the founders of this country. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. How can we forget that at this moment in time? One last story in this area that I feel compelled to share, Mr. Speaker. Story of Narciso Barranco, 48-year-old undocumented landscaper who has been in the United States since the 1990s and has no criminal record. Here's the thing that got me about this story. It caused me to ask the question about this particular moment, the type of deportation machine that has been unleashed on the American people. Narciso, this landscaper, raised 3 American sons, all of whom became Marines, 2 of whom are currently, Mr. Speaker, on active duty Marines. His sons, juggling their military assignments, have been trying to deal with the costs and the paperwork required to adjust their father's immigration status through parole in place, a program which allows undocumented members of military families to apply for a green card. But these men in uniform, juggling their military assignments, had not gotten there yet. So after 3 decades, living, working, and raising a family of patriots in the United States, Narciso was violently arrested while he was mowing the grass at an IHOP restaurant. We don't have to speculate as to whether this was true or not. In a video captured of the incident, you see he was sprayed with pepper gas. He was detained on the ground. He was not resisting. And he was hit repeatedly in the head by masked federal agents while he was on the ground. Let me park right there parenthetically for a moment. Seems to me that every other law enforcement professional in the United States of America has to disclose their identity in a way that is identifiable. These masks need to come down. They need to come down. They need to come down. These agents should just be held to the same set of standards as every other law enforcement officer in the United States of America. And if you don't understand the righteousness of that position, just study the case of Narciso. His oldest son, a Marine veteran, said in an interview, what we weren't prepared for and didn't prep him for was these guys attacking him. We never expected anything like that. We expected these guys to act professionally. And up to the standards of the United States government. Are masked, armed federal agents who beat people on the ground really the standards the United States government should be standing by? Are these the types of actions, Mr. Speaker, that House Republicans endorse and support? This is not the way that anyone in the United States of America should be treated, particularly the father of 3 patriotic Marines. No one should be treated this way, but certainly not the father of 3 patriotic Marines in the United States of America. It's outrageous. It's out of control. And it's completely and totally unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable here in the United States of America. We are better than this. Better than this.